name's Mariah, section number 8. 8? Section number 3! 3.
And I'm Trinity, section number 3 as well.
Okay. The first question is, how is the American dream described in the jungle?
I say that the American dream described in the jungle is that you can come to America, and as long as you work hard and you basically, as long as you find a job, that there's a lot of jobs for everybody, and as long as you work hard to try to get what you're trying to get, like provide for your family in most cases, that you can do that.
How do you think the American dream in like different countries is spread around? Can you repeat that? How do you think like the American dream propaganda is spread around in like different foreign countries?
I honestly don't know how the American dream is propaganda is spread around in countries. And I think maybe because they only see the parts of America that they want to portray. Yeah, like movies like that we make in America, and then they see it in other states, in other countries, or that they just take like articles and news and like stuff from America and only what they want to hear and want to see, but not what's really like what's going on, unless it's something like crazy.
Yeah, I see in like a lot of like posters, they have it in their language, and like the Americans, they go and they put these posters up.
Yeah, and it can be completely out of context.
Yeah, and they can be completely out of
But most of the time, they take the, like the news,
Yeah.
and they don't really say what's happening. Like, they say what they see and how it pertains to their culture. You get what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you think the American dream described in the jungle is a trap based on Grice and Anna's, bullshit?
Yeah, I think it's fake and a trap. Like, I don't know, like really what got them to really come over here. Well, I'm pretty sure it says it, but it's definitely fake and a trap because they didn't even really achieve what they were trying to achieve, because in the end the kid died, the mom died.
Yeah.
Like
was it dead?
A lot, and Jurgis became an alcoholic.
Because he wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
But
and he was so stressed and things.
Like the posters were saying,
They
like,
didn't mention that in the American Dream.
They didn't mention that in the American Dream, and how the economy is very messed up, and how they treat the workers and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, how does capitalism start to put a strain on Grice's and Anna's relationship?
So with Anna's boss. Yeah, Anna's boss, Phil Connor, so Anna she tries to work to provide for her family as well, because Jurgis was working too, but of course that wasn't enough income for their household, so Anna goes to work too. And I say that capitalism really puts a strain on their relationship when Anna goes to work, because that man, he really abused and mistreated her, and that had Jurgis had to come and threaten the boss, and not just threaten but beat him up for real. And that I'm pretty sure after that Anna wasn't able to work anymore, or didn't work there anymore.
She was pregnant as well.
Yeah, she was pregnant while this abuse.
And she was working too. She was working while she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And kids, they have kids at home that they need to provide for. So that can also, mess up.
Yeah, so capitalism really just messed up their home, I feel like. Yeah.
So do you think that Jurgis and Anna's relationship was doomed from the start? Why?
Okay, I would say all arranged marriages are doomed from the start, but Jurgis was pushing 30 and Anna was freshly 16, or even not just freshly 16, but 15.
Yeah.
So that kind of puts them in a weird position, because she just got able to put into the workforce, so she couldn't get no real career or anything. And I'm not saying if she had a real career that the workplace situation would have been very different, but it would have been a little easier on them for capitalism wise and making money for their family wise. So yeah, I feel like that like really doomed him from the start as well as him coming with no career either. Like no like very valuable not assets but very valuable training and things like that. And then coming to America just straight like fresh start was a little crazy.
Yeah. And if we go back to the wedding, they were like both nervous and they spent a lot of money.
And they barely knew each other.
They barely knew. And they spent a lot on the wedding, and they were nervous about like making back that money, which I don't think they ever did they? But they were. I heard they were they were in a lot of debt and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that also to be like doing.
And it was also trying to bring their Lithuanian culture to Chicago.
They had to bring in people,
and nobody like really knew their culture. Especially with the wedding, they didn't like give any money to them for their things like how they were expecting.
Yeah, everybody was leaving and stuff like that. So, all right. And the next question is: The Jungle by Upton Sinclair exposed the gruesome nature of the meatpacking industry and its toll it takes on its workers. How does Sinclair balance reporting this meat industry, like exposing the gruesome nature, and the storytelling, the story with their wedding and jerky? How does he balance?
So how does he balance it? I say he balanced it pretty well in his story because first he started out with telling about himself, like in his background, but it just started, like with the wedding and the sister. Or was it cousin? The cousin running late. Yeah, the cousin. So I feel like it was pretty balanced in that way because if he would have started off initially with what was going on with his job
it would just be
and
like
meat packaging, it would be a report. It would be confusing and it wouldn't be just structured right in general. And I feel like how he separated. Because he doesn't talk about both his family and what he's going through and the meatpacking industry together, like directly together at once, not really. So I feel like when he really just like broke it down and talked about the meat packaging industry in itself and then what was going on in his home as a part, it really put in perspective how bad the meatpacking industry was and how bad his life was.
Yes, and how that difference from like chapter 1 and chapter 14, how it's like an ombre of words, and how like the hot and the fun.
Like it just gets worse.
It just gets worse. And I think that's how he balances it, and he does it in a good job.
Yes.
So, okay.
Hurrah, Jerkis.
So, Upton Sinclair's parents were poor, however, his grandparents weren't. This exposure of the two was said to be a cause of his socialism. Socialism is when the government or community shares ownership of businesses and resources to make sure everyone has what they need, like food and health care. How does Sinclair's experiences with both poverty and wealth influence his criticism of the capitalism and its effects on immigrant workers in the jungle?
Okay, so you're saying that the Arthur, he grew up with wealth, and his grandparents
and then his parents grew up. So he basically grew up, but his grandparents were. So
his parents grew up wealthy. No, you're saying his grandparents grew up wealthy.
Yeah,
but like they didn't exchange any of that wealth to his parents.
Yeah, it was kind of like Gilmore Girls, like how
Okay, I see that. Okay, what's the question again?
Okay, so it was, how did Sinclair's experience with both being poor and wealth influence his criticism of capitalism and its effects on the immigrant workers?
I think Sinclair, he really seen both sides. He's seen both sides of how capitalism works, how it benefits the rich, and also how it doesn't benefit the poor at all.
Yeah, the rich benefits the rich.
Yeah, how the rich benefits the rich and the poor are just meant to stay poor. And what was the second part? Like, how did he say?
The second part was, like, how did this influence his criticism of capitalism? Like, what did he think about capitalism? Based on
So I think, it's very obvious that he didn't think capitalism was getting us anywhere. and that he thinks capitalism is something that doesn't really benefit, like I already said, doesn't really benefit anybody but the rich.
Yeah.
So, and as he said in the end of the story, how jerk is, he found socialism, and think that socialism is a really good thing for everybody because it benefits everybody.
It benefits everybody,
Yeah, it benefits everybody, and there's not like the poorest staying poor and the rich have nothing to do with it and they just stay rich.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense. That makes
Okay.
sense. Okay. Lastly, did this story change your outlook on the way you look at the meat industry? Like, are you still gonna get Popeyes? Are you still gonna get Wingstop?
It does change my perspective, but it's like,
Do you think a lot has changed now? Do you trust the industry?
I still don't trust the energy. I still don't trust the industry. Have you heard about the turkeys?
Yes.
They were doing crazy stuff to the turkeys, and it's like I thought we had regulations to fix that, to prevent that, but these big companies don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very obvious that the big companies don't care. So I feel like when I really get in my, like my big girl life part and everything, I'm gonna really be cautious of what I buy and what I eat. And I just say, where I get my food and goods from. And I say that I'll do that later because right now, like, I'm still live with my parents and things. Like, I don't control that much of what I eat. I do control what I eat and have stuff over it, but yeah, I don't see it the same. I'm not gonna see it the same. And when I get older, I'm gonna buy from local markets.
Yeah, local markets. I've been seeing a whole bunch of like farmers markets and everything. Yes, and I want to go there. My mom actually went there yesterday, but she thought it was like really expensive, and the stuff was like kind of old and stuff. So yeah, but I want some good local markets. So yeah.